iHeartMedia Raleigh presents CEOs to Know, where we shine a spotlight on decision makers from all corners of the triangle, showcasing the leaders and companies that drive our local economy.
Welcome to CEOs to Know. I'm Kyle Wilson. We are talking finances this week, and I am so excited to introduce my guest because, well, we're back in studio again, doing this in person for the first time in more than a year. And I have Mary Willis, President and CEO of Fuquay-Varina-based Fidelity Bank, here with me. It's nice to see you, Mary. How are you? Thanks for stopping by today.
Great to be here.
I want to point out the Triangle Business Journal had some very nice things to say about you earlier this year. They named you a 2021 Women in Business Award winner, so congratulations on that. Here on iHeart, CEOs to Know gives us an opportunity to learn more about local businesses, but also talk about the local people behind the businesses. So that's where you come in as CEO of a local bank. So let's talk about Fidelity Bank and describe your business mission and really what's the Fidelity Bank advantage?
Well, Fidelity Bank is a 112-year-old community bank. We serve North Carolina and the southern part of Virginia.
Okay.
We really focus on building long-term relationships with our customers who are mainly business owners and retail customers. I like to think about it as we're the one-stop shop for everyone, for all our customers. We want to be the first place that you think of if you have any type of financial need, whether it's a checking account, a business loan, a mortgage, investment help you need, or a trust. We want to be here for you. I would say what differentiates us most from other banks is the service that we provide. We really try to wow our customers in every way, facet. I tell our associates every day, see how you can wow the customer. Go the extra mile. What can you do different? And what really separates us, I would say, is our responsive time. You always need to be able to get back to a customer immediately, whether if they need help, you need to be there for them.
How many branches do you have?
55.
Has that been a kind of a steady growth over the years?
Yes, we've actually had more in lots of instances. We've closed some, consolidated them, and built bigger, larger branches, just tried to fit the community needs that we had.
How did Fidelity Bank weather the pandemic? Can you speak to any particular challenges? I know traditionally things like banking and masks may not typically go well together. Beyond that, it's been a very challenging 18 months for consumers and businesses alike. There were PPP loans that were available at some point. Can you talk to some of the challenges and the things that Fidelity did to overcome them?
Well, I would say just like everyone else, the wearing the mask, the acrylic shields, social distancing, providing remote work environments, quarantining has been especially difficult and challenging in a very high-touch service environment that we're in. Our number one priority was to make sure that we kept all our employees working and to keep our branches open for our customers. That was challenging at times due to COVID exposures that could create staffing shortages, but we did it. I'm proud to say that through all the challenges, I would say our employees rallied together to think more about our customers who are really in desperate need of help rather than themselves. Some of the things that we did during the pandemic was we offered loan deferrals to every customer that had a loan within the bank. Whether they needed it or not, we stepped up to see, can we help you during this time? We were also one of the first banks on the street with the PPP lending, that we were able to get money out there in the first few days of that. And we had a lot of customers who really needed this assistance, and we stood by them. We try to live by our motto, right by you, and being there with them every step of the way.
Right by you. I like that. Your background in banking, I was checking you out on LinkedIn. It goes all the way back to your teenage years. How did you get your start in banking, and what has kept you with Fidelity all this time?
Well, I grew up, my father was a former president of Fidelity Bank years ago. He worked with the bank for over 57 years. And growing up, you were going to work. You weren't going to be lazy or anything like that. So I got a job when I turned 17 as a bank teller and loved it. Absolutely loved being with people, being able to help people. Through the next few years, I was able to work summers, vacations in different areas of the bank. Some summers I worked on the teller line. Some years I worked behind in backroom offices, departments, stuff like that. But I continued to love it. And then when I got out of college, which I majored in accounting, I came back to the bank, started working in the accounting department, and just progressed through time.
Anyone else in the family involved in that? Or he must have been pleased to have you there.
Well, I have 3 brothers, and I do have one brother that actually works in the bank also.
Well, there you go. I saw a very nice write-up from the North Carolina Community Foundation. You were named to their board of directors. Can you speak to some of the work that you do with them as well as any other charitable initiatives or give back programs that you're involved in or Fidelity Bank is involved in?
Well, Fidelity Bank is in a lot of rural towns here in North Carolina and the southern part of Virginia. We're also in some of the larger cities, the Raleigh, the Greensboro, Winston-Salem, those areas also. But a lot of rural North Carolina is very poor, don't have the resources that we do around Wake County here. So the North Carolina Community Foundation really goes and supports these rural communities and help give money and get money back into these communities to help them. So that's really reason it's really important to us. Some of our former management helped start this foundation years ago. Outside of the community foundation, we also, each of our branches like to support their community where we have branches. Wherever you live and work, you need to be a supporter of that community. So we do backpack buddies, food drives, shred-a-thons. We help a lot of not-for-profits. Several of our bankers actually teach financial literacy into schools. So we also we'll give our employees a couple days a year community time and ask them to go back into their communities and do something to help the community and help them prosper. So.
Those are some great initiatives. I love the shred-a-thons. Those are always popular events and so important, and it's nice when you can do that for free. I just paid a bunch of money to the UPS store last week myself, so I like it when the banks hop onto that. Something you just said I want to go back to, and that is kids and financial literacy. That's a very important subject to me. And I'm curious, within your own family, as someone who grew up in and around banking, how did you instill that in your own kids? And what's your advice for me with my kids or for anybody else listening who wants to teach better financial skills to the next generation?
Well, I would say that it's really important to start early. Today, even within the bank, we try to get kids in middle school to open checking accounts and start working with them at a very young age to teach them about finances, how to save money, how to spend money, to keep track of your money, and how to invest. So I think it's really important. The more that you can get involved at a younger age really makes a big difference. And there's so many different, I will say, games that you can play with the kids now to teach them about financial literacy. There's so many apps out there and a lot of fun stuff to make it fun for them.
I've always done the savings accounts, but the checking account, that's a different wrinkle. How does that work?
Well, we offer a student checking account, and what's so good about it is we really just giving students a debit card, and they have the ability to use that debit card, but we don't let them overdraw. So the parents don't have to worry about it. The parents doesn't have to be signed onto the account or anything as a signer or anything like that. But it helps the kids realize when they can look at online banking and every night pull up their account or either on their phone, pull it up and look and say, I got $50 in my account. And when I went to McDonald's today and spent $5, that they can come back home and look and see how much money they have. But at the same time, so they're learning to keep track of their money. But like I said, we don't let them overdraw the account.
We used to enjoy logging in and looking back when interest rates got you something. They did used to enjoy that because we would always point out, look how much the bank has paid you to let them hold on to your money. So, who inspires you, Mary? Did you have a mentor coming up? You've talked about staying with Fidelity for all of these years.
29 years.
That's a long time to be with the same company. Did you have a mentor there? And then do you get an opportunity now, or do you find yourself mentoring others coming up?
Well, I would say the person who inspired me most was my father. And he's now passed away, but I really feel like I'm carrying on his legacy. He worked with the bank for over 57 years, and he actually started with the bank when it was one branch and just a couple $1 million in deposits.
Wow.
So he grew it to over 70 branches and almost a couple $1 billion. So I feel like that he was very well respected as a leader in the banking and kind of business world. And I think it's probably what inspires me most about him is that people thought of him as a good person who was always fair and honest. And so that always stays with me. I've been very blessed to be able to work with a lot of great people over the years that took time with me and really helped me see the big picture in banking. And it's amazing what you can learn from people if you'll just pay attention and listen. For me, mentoring others, I think leading by example is probably the best mentoring you can do. I try to make it a point to always listen to my associates, try to understand where they're coming from. Don't get upset when things go wrong. If something didn't work out or they did something they shouldn't, let's sit down and let's work on it together to find a solution. I always was told by one of my mentors, if you have a problem and you don't tell me about it, it's your problem. If you have a problem and I know about it, we have a problem.
It's our problem.
Exactly. So.
Well, with the CEOs to Know, as I explained kind of at the beginning, we get to know the local businesses, but we're also getting to know the local leadership behind the businesses. So let's talk about you and what you're passionate about in your free time. What are you into?
What free time? I have 3 kids. If I am not at the bank, I'm usually at a soccer field. They play competitive soccer, so I have one of them that plays from Virginia down to Florida. So on the weekends,
travel team, yeah.
We are gone. So, but outside of that, I do like to help give back some. And some, like you said, the North Carolina Community Foundation, the North Carolina Bankers Association, and Campbell University are all boards I serve on and really try to support.
Well, things are starting to reopen. What are you looking forward to getting out and doing again? Movies. I want to go to see movies again. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Exactly.
What are you excited about next for Fidelity Bank?
I think I'm most excited that, Fidelity has really come a long way. And to me, we're really becoming an employer of choice and a small business bank of choice here in North Carolina and Southern Virginia. For a long time, we were a small bank and we couldn't hire some of the top talent in our industry because we were all so small. And that has really changed now. Today, we're hiring some of the best bankers across our footprint. People are coming to us. They're yearning for that culture like ours, one that we care about our customers and the associate. Customers are leaving the big banks today and coming to us because of the level of service we provide. All banks offer the exact same products and services, but when customers need you, they want someone they feel like they can call and pick up a phone. Someone who knows their name, knows who they are, and is going to be there for them no matter what. And so I think that's where we're so different. Like I said, you can call us night or day. There's no 800 number for you to call. And in 2020, during this pandemic, our bank grew 40%. So that you can see all the people that are coming to us because of the service we provided, because of what we did with PPP. So that's what really excites me about all the opportunity out there and how we can help people. That's all we want to do is help people and invite them into our bank.
We'll get you some of that good service. FidelityBankNC.com is the website, and you're hiring now?
Absolutely.
All right, so there you go. You're looking for a job in the financial sector, FidelityBankNC.com. And as Mary said, no 800 number. You just call the local office, call the local branch, and they'll get you started there. Mary, I appreciate you coming in and being our CEO to Know and being a part of the series. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
CEOs to Know is a production of iHeartMedia Raleigh. To hear interviews with other local business leaders, visit ceostoKnow.com.